All right, Chris
Shit.
got it.
Yeah, both of
Chris
y'all
got it.
do it. Shit.
Chris got it. We live.
Mush, nigga, mush.
And we live, baby. Welcome to the According Sources podcast. My name is Christian. We're joined by the rest of the crew, Rob. Say what's up to the people, Rob.
Yeah.
Darkness.
Devin, say hello to the people.
What's up, people?
My man, Dre. Straight from ATL. Say what's up to the people, man.
Yo.
So, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. The first round just concluded. And LeBron is actually have a roster full of plumbers. He willed them into the second round. Is that a testament to LeBron's greatness or just how weak still the East is?
It could be both.
No.
It can be both.
Well, you know what? The East is it's coming up, but it's looking rough. Man. Even though
the Pacers are good. The Pacers are
the
good.
Pacers are good. Yeah, so I can't say that they're bad. Like the East is bad because the East has some exciting teams. They're just not championship level yet. I mean, honestly, I really wish we would stop this whole notion of, oh my God, the East is so weak. Besides the Warriors, it's an open spread in the West. To be honest,
Houston.
man, Houston had trouble because Thibodeau didn't put the right lineup out there. I'm just gonna cut it out there right now, okay?
I mean, well, okay.
They was having trouble with a nigga who don't even have knees.
What lineup? What lineup?
Point guard
was
Dewan
Steve
Bland
supposed to put out there?
He had at one point that man had Jeff Teague and Tyus. What's Tyus' last name?
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones. Come on now, and you got D Rose playing great, but because of money and contracts, and because you being the coach and the GM, you got to honor shit. Give me a break.
I don't think playing Derek Moore would have changed the outcome of that series.
I think playing Jimmy Butler less would have changed it, maybe.
I don't think that would have made things better either.
He can't guard nobody. He used to be this defensive god.
As much talent as Minnesota had, Derrick Rose should not have been their best player throughout that series.
See? You see what I'm saying?
He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have been. That was a big problem. I was on the Ball podcast. I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I was telling them, when me and Just were going back and forth on Twitter about how Houston's guards could guard Karl Anthony Towns. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. No, they can't. I don't get no, but they're stocky. No, they can't guard him. And if they can guard him in the post, that's because he has a problem. It's not because they're stocky. Them being stocky is not going to stop 6'11", 200.
Stocky ain't nothing but another name for fat.
65, 270-pound center in the league. If he can't back those dudes down because they're quote unquote stocky, it's because he's fucking trash. So, I'm just gonna throw that out there. Is he trash? Is that what it is?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns?
No, he ain't trash.
No, he ain't trash.
Defensively, he's something else.
So why wouldn't he back their big man down? He ain't trash. He's just soft.
Hold on. You're like super clouded.
You muzzled. You real muffled. Because I'm not by my phone. I said he ain't soft. He just. I mean, he ain't. What words I use?
Timid.
Yeah, there you go. He's just soft, man. He's hanging out in the 3-point line in the corner. Every time they got a switch on a small, he would try to post up for like half a second and then roll right out and go to the weak side corner, and that's just stupid to me. It doesn't make any sense why he would do that, like for the first 3 or 4 games. And I don't know if it was because of what he wanted to do or if it was by design. Either way, it's dumb. If it was Thibodeau, it's dumb because he designed the offense that way. And if it was him, it's dumb because as a big man, you should be able to exploit a mismatch in the post every time you want to. So I think for him, as a basketball player, his first thing in the off season this year is to lift some goddamn weights.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get stronger.
Yeah. Strength and conditioning. Get stronger, especially in the lower body, so you can take those guys down.
Drop that
Take those guys down low in the lower post.
in the hood. It's
You know,
ridiculous.
Carl
I
Anthony
hate Golden
Towns, as
State.
big as mentality as he is, there's no way Clint Capella should have outplayed him. Clint Capella is a great player for what he does for that system, but he's not. He's not Cat.
He isn't. You know, you got to give some credit to Houston for the way that they were playing defense in that series. But a lot of their problems was not Houston created. A lot of their problems were just it was Minnesota. They're not
Yeah.
they just weren't good. It had nothing to do with Houston. They just weren't good offensively. Jimmy wasn't good offensively. Nobody on that team was stopping Jimmy. Jimmy, I mean, like Ball says, every playoffs Jimmy's hurt. It was just another one of those, playoff series where, it started, Jimmy was hurt, and now we have an excuse for why he wasn't playing well.
There's a couple of other things. I think the reason why they lost that series is one, I don't understand how people just think just throwing a bunch of talent on one roster will work, and there's absolutely no shooting. I mean, Derrick Rose is shooting 44%, somewhere around there from the 3-point line.
Something
Your
like
best
that.
3-point shooter is your backup point guard.
Backup point guard.
Takes
Your
like
backup
four
point
three
guard.
pointers in that series. Yeah, he took like 4 3-pointers.
4.
Yeah, he hit. Okay, yeah, he hit them. He hit the 3-pointers he took. They don't have a lot of shooting. They don't have a lot of wing depth that can play defense. And I believe Tom Thibodeau said that's what they're going to look for in the offseason. You would kind of think that they have wing depth because you have Jimmy Butler and you have Andrew Wiggins, but
His little
Andrew
brother.
Wiggins isn't a good basketball player, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. That sucks, man, because I was really looking forward to his upside and him developing, and it's just not been happening for him. That's really unfortunate. But I'm also not surprised given
I
who his
don't
coach is. But
think getting Jimmy Butler on the team helps his development at all.
it
I didn't
really
hear that, but
doesn't.
it sounded like you said Jimmy wasn't helping his development. No, but I mean, before Jimmy got there, it wasn't like he. First of all, he was not worth that contract they gave him. That was I think
Who
that was a
that they
mistake.
gave Wiggins?
Yeah, that they gave Wiggins. He's not worth
Yeah.
that contract. That was a mistake. And now you think about it. You're gonna have to pay Jimmy in 2 years, a year, and
Yep.
2 years, maybe 2 years. Then you're gonna have to pay Cat like right after that. And now you have Cat, Jimmy, and Andrew Wiggins is gonna be like the cornerstone of your team. Is that good enough to win anything?
Well,
In the West, no.
in the West, no. But look at somebody like, and I'm not trying to, segue here or get sidetracked, but we are crunch for time. Look at Boston. You got Rozier, you got Tatum, you got what's the other kid's name?
Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown, and you got Kyrie coming back next year, who's consistently shown that he can't stay healthy. How are they
Unfortunately.
going to work that out? Because that young group can play,
Yeah.
and they can play great.
19, 7, 4, and 44% from the 3-point line for Rozier. Insane.
So,
Yeah. Rozier
oh
has
god,
shown that he's a starting level basketball player at this point. And if he can keep this up, he's a great. He's making himself a lot of money, but he's a great just in case for them.
Yeah.
If this happens with Kyrie again, at least you have somebody that you could just pluck right in, and he could you won't miss a beat. And I think Jalen Brown and Tatum are all getting invaluable experience right now.
mm-hmm.
That's great.
That team is going to be a problem for a while. And then you think about it, Gordon Hayward is coming back too. So,
So
they'll be all right.
did they
And then
sign Kyrie when they got him a trade or no?
No, I think
no, that was a
his
signing
contract
trade.
is up next year. I think he's a free agent next year. They're gonna have to pay him pretty soon, maybe 2 years from now, and that's gonna be an interesting thing if he continues to get hurt. Like if he's injured again, like there'll be the second time for them. Their point guard can't stay healthy, and they're coming up for contract. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
While we're on Boston, is Brad Stevens the best
Please
coach
bring
in
it
the
up.
NBA?
Yeah.
No.
I think that's pretty fair right now. I mean, look at what he's doing
No.
with what he has.
Who's the best coach, Devin?
No, I still think it's Quinn Cook and
Quinn Snyder.
what's my boy? Quinn Snyder. Yeah, the one who looks like a serial killer.
Like a mob boss.
He looks like a deranged murderer. Respect to him. He's good at what he does, whether it be murdering people or coaching basketball teams.
Whether it be murdering people.
Utah's a great getaway place to go to if you don't want, a high profile like that. Kill two birds with one stone. No pun. But I still think he's better than him. He's doing way more with even less.
Okay, hold on. I mean, this is a 1 year thing. Like, for somebody to be the best coach in the league, I need like a body of work.
Oh, like the best coach, like period.
Yeah, period. Not like a coach of the year type thing, but it's like who's the best coach. Period.
It's Greg Popovich.
I don't know. I can't give it to Pop no more.
Shit, Brad Stevens ain't won nothing. What are you doing?
I mean, Pop ain't won nothing lately either.
Shit, it don't matter. He can still pull it.
How?
And then his wife passed away.
Now,
Kawhi,
we're not giving
sympathy.
We're not giving out sympathy awards.
No, dog,
here.
come on. Kawhi was drunk. He listening to his drunk uncle. That's not fair. If that's the case, Steve Kerr should be the best coach in the league.
No, but I mean, no, because look, what we just talked about with Boston.
And he came from the Popovich tree.
You lose your best, like they've lost, like what their best two players,
man,
the top 3 players have been.
They got that weak body food
the entire season.
Kyrie
they got
gone.
Al Horford,
Gordon Hayward,
man,
gone.
and y'all.
Jaylen Brown.
I know. In the thread, y'all hate on Al Horford.
Oh boy, every
basket.
Let me tell you something, Dre. Every basket he made last night, I was pissed.
I've been telling y'all for a while. Al Horford is good.
Boy, Drew Holiday just put the.
I don't know.
He just put KD on skates.
I don't know why y'all hate Al Horford so much, but I mean,
man,
for the last 15 years, this dude ain't did nothing to be solid. And this playoff,
ain't no way in hell.
This playoff
he would have did that to somebody like Draymond Green. The best power forward in the West.
You stupid. But you still
bring it up, Draymond. Dunk that shit.
You still giving it to Pop. I mean, I guess you can give it to Pop every year. And Pop the best coach all the time. I guess you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at what Brad Stevens is doing with you got a rookie player, a second-year player. I mean, then Marcus Smart was gone for I don't know how long in that first series. I can't even remember. Did he play at all in that first series?
Oh man! So Marcus Smart was that important, Dre?
No, but I mean, he is one of their better players. When you lose
nigga.
guys that are part of your rotation, other guys have to, step up. And when those other guys step up, that's coaching. Like your system works. Like you look at what happened to Isaiah Thomas. He left Brad Stevens and his whole arsenal fell apart. Like this, they're just plucking people into this system. Like this is what you talk about with Pop, like all the time. It's like it doesn't matter who's in the system. They got rid of Gary Neal and they just plucked in Patty Mills. It's like they taking guys and putting them in the system, and all of these separate pieces are working well.
DeJounte Murray, that's my boy.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing is happening for Brad Stevens. Is that they're just putting people into the system, and the system is just working because the system is good. That's good coaching.
I give it one more year because
man, this is you just hating on Boston, and that's fine. I'm cool.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Even though I want to, I like Brad Stevens because I remember when he first got that job, it was a lot of people that were, they were trying to put him in the loop. Rick Pitino, Coach Calipari role. Like you go to the league, you were successful in college, you go to the league, it's not going to work like that. Draymond Green is a dog. He is balling. And, I really wanted him to
he mediocre.
It sucked. You crazy nigga. Don't, we're not going to do this. But But
He a
I really
glorified
wanted
Boris
Stevens.
Diaw.
Exactly.
I
He can't
wanted
do
Stevens
anything.
to succeed. I wanted Brad Stevens to succeed because I felt like he had the perfect setup, the perfect system to develop players while at the same time utilizing a system that works. And that's all he's done. Now, in this next year, I, you know, this gonna make some people mad on the West Coast, but Boston is light years ahead of where the Lakers should be. And I
Oh
don't think
man,
the
wait,
Lakers.
No,
why
I
are they
don't
it's
think
gonna be upset about that?
not even a
Why are they gonna
debate.
be upset about that?
because the Lakers fans believe that their team is on the cuffs. It's
Of what?
about to happen. Of greatness, of redefined greatness. They about to pull back some nostalgia. Nigga,
They getting
Boston is
playoff P. Okay.
Boston is here. They
5
are
points.
they are another year, maybe even two removed from winning a championship, unless the Bulls pull some slick shit
Boy,
and the
ain't
city
no
of Boston capsizes into the Atlantic
ain't a
Ocean.
chance in
I
hell the
pray
boys
every
are
night.
pulling some
Oh
slick
no,
anything.
Bulls bloggers are very confident we might get Paul George or Kawhi.
What
Yeah.
bull blogger is confident of that? Please tell
Or
me.
Philly. Philly's really their only competition because I don't think LeBron is staying in Cleveland.
No, I don't think he's saying that.
Nah.
The whole reason he went back to Cleveland is so that he wouldn't have to do exactly what he has to do now, which is
What you mean?
carry. He came back to Cleveland to play with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love so that he wouldn't have to carry a team for 82 games and then throughout the playoffs. And he has to do it. He still has to do it because Kyrie is no longer there. So this isn't what he wants to do. You think in his 15th year he wants to have to play all
So
these
you saying
goddamn
he
minutes and
is
score all these
leaving?
points? Yeah, LeBron is getting the hell out of
Oh,
here. Did
okay.
you say that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
like,
just saying he came
Ooh,
back
Steph Curry twisted
to not
ankle.
have to deal with this again.
No, that was me praying. Oh, Brick
Boy,
City.
Jesus Christ, boy, your ass has some serious
Klay
problems.
Thompson. God damn it, man. Why are they so? Oh, man, I hate them light skinned
like
niggas, man.
like Dre's
Dude,
been saying for a while, Cleveland never replaced Kyrie.
they
So
couldn't.
they
They
couldn't.
tried.
Kyrie is a top 5 point guard. You don't find those growing on trees.
A
And
top
Steph
five
is a
point guard
dog.
when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's
But
healthy.
Yeah.
but
The whole healthy thing is a problem, though.
back to what I was saying. Boston is light years ahead of LA, and LA ain't going to be nowhere near there unless they get sustainability from whoever they sign in free agency. What's the boy's name? Lonzo. Lonzo
Lonzo.
ain't Rozier. He's not Jaylen Brown. Damn sure ain't Jason Tatum. All of them are better than him at everything. Everything.
Life.
Rap. All that shit.
I mean,
I don't
just
even
started
think he
the,
is.
just started the
brothers better than
coaching.
his brothers.
I mean,
You're
So,
correct.
that's that.
But you don't think playoff P is gonna go over there and
Nigga, who?
bring them playoff P?
Push off P?
the dude that went 2 for 14.
Playoff.
Trash ass.
They
Nigga.
say playoff P told them before he left the stadium, "I'm gone."
So, with that said, I think Chris was going to ask us: is OKC a failure this year?
I told y'all they were a failure about 4 podcasts ago. Y'all don't remember that when I asked y'all if y'all thought they were disappointing?
Who do we point
Yeah.
the finger at then?
Everybody.
Billy Donovan. He gets the main blame.
No.
Billy
no,
Donovan
Yes,
does get some
yes.
blame.
No.
Billy
Donovan
Donovan
does get some
is
blame.
toast.
Hell no.
He
How
does
do you
get some
bring
blame.
in
A little blame goes to him too.
Russ was doing this shit when Scott, what's his name, was there?
Scott Brooks?
Scott Brooks when he was here. Man, y'all not gonna do this shit.
He gets some of the blame, but I blame the front office primarily for bringing Melo in because I think the coaching staff had a system already set in place between Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and then they sit a fat ass Melo in the middle of it. And like at the end of the camp, at the end of training camp, it's like a fat ass Melo. Here you go, do something with it. And it's like, well, no, we're going to continue with the same system that we've been, we set up for, the last 2 or 3 months. Like this is what we're doing. And they had nowhere to put Melo. Like where do you put him?
Was the time in between that?
Huh?
Man, I ain't hear none of that, Rob. You got to fix that shit.
The time in between that really that long.
I didn't get that either.
I didn't get that one either, dude. Is something really that long? That's what she said.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but do you see what I'm saying? It's like I don't I blame the coach because he couldn't figure out a way to incorporate him. So that's like his fault.
That's not
And
his problem.
that I
It
mean he's the
is,
coach. Like whose fault is the
Shit.
problem is it?
It's
But I
Russ's fault.
no,
Devin.
Shit.
but I
I bring you the
blame
groceries. I expect you to cook the meal.
No, dog, because y'all brought him there for a reason. Billy
I
Donovan
don't know
had to be
what
included
was the
in
reason.
on those
I'm
discussions,
sure
on those talks.
okay, but once you get him, you have to be able to incorporate him
But
better.
you have to get everybody else to incorporate on that too. Russ
I,
don't play like that. He
I mean,
ain't used to playing with anybody
believe
like
me,
that.
Russ is to me. Russ gets the biggest share of the blame when it comes to what went wrong with that team. This is why, like when me and Chris was talking last time about um, about the MVP thing, and it's like, yeah, Russ averaged a triple double again this year, but a team with more talent pretty much did the same thing the team did last year. So yeah,
Mm.
Russ gets a huge share of the blame. I think Presti gets a huge share of that blame because you don't sit a guy like Melo in your coach's lap at the end of a training camp when they've been formulating things for that entire training camp. Like you don't do that. It's like it's a very difficult thing to incorporate. I mean, you look at like Melo is, Melo is not a stand in the corner and shoot threes guy, you know.
No, he's
But
not.
but that's what they were asking him to do. Like we need you to sit in the corner and stretch the floor. But Melo is he's not a catch and shoot guy. He's a shoot off the dribble guy. But you just want him to catch and shoot, and you want him to play the power forward, and it's none of that shit worked. It was just really badly organized, and that's why I said everybody's to blame. It's not just one or two people.
Dre, it's that and it's the fact that Russ is not a point guard. I mean, Russell Westbrook is a shooting guard. No point guard I've ever seen has needed the ball as much as he does. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Paul George try to initiate the offense, and then Russ just come running from the wing and yell, "Give me the ball!" Like that's not how teams win playoff games.
No, that's not how teams win any goddamn thing. So yeah, to your point, somebody wrote some article that or maybe it was a tweet or something. And they were saying they think that Russ should be a small forward or something. Like put him as small forward and make him work off the ball to get the ball and some other nonsense. And like if you said two guard, I would understand it a little bit more.
Small. Well, I mean, he is 6'5", 6'6", so
Small forward is a bit too much for him. I think he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah,
no, he's taller than D Wade, man. I've seen them next to each other.
So D Wade is 6'4", right?
Yeah,
So let's say he's 6'5".
I don't even want to talk about D Wade.
What you got against D Wade?
Man,
You know what? Now, let's continue on because I mean, like your list of grievances on NBA players is like expands the entire planet.
man,
It
I'm
goes
down.
on.
D Wade though, like
nah, man, it's nothing against him. I got the same exact, almost the same. Well, it's more so Steph. Y'all know I don't like him. I got the same exact injury as Steph. So, and I feel like ever since meniscuses started getting messed up, the epidemic started with Dwayne Wade. I feel like that came on down to me, to the civilian world.
Hey, his meniscus got messed up in college.
Listen, listen. I told you it started with him, and then it just
Okay,
came on
hey,
down.
I'm not going to argue with you, sir. You got it. I'm not going to argue with you.
Sick of his shit.
so. While we still on OKC, Mister Push Off P, as Devin calls him, is reportedly not going back to OKC. And I wonder why. I wonder why.
He don't want to play
Listen,
Russ.
man. If anything, he decreased his asking price with that shit. That was god
Man, look,
awful.
the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors. I'm typing Warriors. The Lakers are going to get that boy whatever he wants to come there. Whatever he
for
wants, it
nothing
doesn't
for
matter.
nothing else but for the ticket sales.
So it
Again,
doesn't matter what he
it
did in the
pains me to
playoffs.
say it, but Boston is light years ahead of Los Angeles. The famous brand. Oh, we're so great because you keep talking about us. Oh, glitz, glamour, the life, showtime, nigga,
Yeah,
please. That
right.
shit faded out in
Dude,
'87, fam. Get out of here.
so you're not
More
you're not
people
going
show up to
for it.
Bulls games than they show up to the Staples Center, fam. Get out of here. And that's no lie. That's facts.
Your ass is stupid.
You know what's crazy? Now that you say that about Chicago, even during the snowy months that we've had of our winter,
The
we
games
still
are
we still
still
outsold
stacked.
LA.
We are still outsold at beautiful LA.
Well,
Tinseltown.
well, the people in LA would tell you that's because y'all have nothing else to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You have nothing else better to
We
do with
got
your
nothing
life
else to do
besides go to a
but
Chicago Bulls game.
to go out in sub-degree temperatures and go watch trash.
Man,
Yeah.
like we've been saying for the last couple months, if Chicago had LA as weather, Chicago is the best city in the world. Period.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Y'all
What's next?
are y'all are crazy. What do you have next on the agenda?
Hassan Whiteside, my guy. He's kind of been playing Casper when they were in the first round, and the reason for it is apparently Pat Riley came down from the ivory tower and said that he was overweight, he wasn't focused, and that he didn't deserve to play playoff minutes. And those are some very tough words of criticism coming from your team president.
But where's the lie?
It's
Where is the lie? That is what we call in the adult world, Hassan, accountability. We also call that your boss getting in your ass.
not the coach, not the GM, the team president.
Pat. If Pat Riley says these things about you, you should probably take a step back and just think about the things that you're doing on the basketball court. It was like the entire series against Philadelphia. That dude was sitting there pouting. He's pouting the entire time. How about you get out there and play some goddamn defense? Why don't you try to establish an offensive game? Like, do something besides pout. He was out there fouling and pouting. And the biggest mistake they did
It
was
didn't
give
help
him all their
when
goddamn money.
exactly, and it didn't help when I know he was real hot when he wrote what he said. He said that well, I came into camp, I came into the playoffs with missing a month. But go ahead, Pat, I'm gonna let you finish. And then Joel Embiid uh, commented on Hassan's Whiteside's picture. He's like, yo, I missed a few games, more than a few, and I still outballed you. So what's your excuse?
It's a bunch of excuses for Whiteside. He got that money, and it's just excuse central with that dude. I think he needs to, at some point you got to look at yourself in the mirror and
Some Whiteside needs to
evaluate
grow
yourself.
up.
Yeah, you got to
He
look at
did the
yourself.
same thing with Draymond when he was going at it with him. Like, dog, you need to grow up, man. You got to mature. You get paid now. Act like it. Act like an all-star. Act like the stuff that you say that you are.
You give these guys like him that money, man, and it's hit or miss. Guys that weren't drafted, I got to prove myself, and stay in the league. And then when they prove
Jimmy
themselves
Butler.
and stay in the league, but Jimmy still works hard. I know. Jimmy works hard. Jimmy works hard, man. Like, you can't take that away from him. You can't even put him and Hassan Whiteside in the same room, let alone the same stratosphere. Like, they're not the same type of person. Jimmy is crazy about basketball. I don't necessarily know if Hassan Whiteside is crazy about basketball. I think he's crazy.
He sure the hell don't act like it.
I think he's crazy about getting paid, and those are two completely different things. And it's fine if that's what it is, but it sucks for the Miami Heat because they thought they had a franchise big man, and they don't have one of those. He's not that
At all.
I mean, after the
Grown
game, this
ass.
dude is complaining about getting the minutes that he's playing, but it's like when you out there playing, You're a negative in every sense of the word. Like you're a negative. Uh, It's like a team player, that's a negative, but you're also just a negative on the floor because we get outscored. Whenever you're on the floor, we're getting outscored. So why should we play you more minutes? It's like the Melo syndrome. Melo wanted more minutes, but they got outscored by, I don't know, it was some ridiculous number when he was on the floor, like 60 points or something like that. They got outscored by when Melo was on the floor. Why should we play you more minutes so we can get outscored by more? What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. This isn't how this works. Things don't work like that. When we get outscored by X amount of points, it usually means we should play this player less time. But these guys are like, well, it doesn't matter how many points we're getting outscored by. Continue to play me more minutes. What the hell is wrong with basketball players now?
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna have to take them to find another player, like of either a power forward or a center position, to light a fire under his ass.
Nah, that dude is too far gone. He's been an asshole ever since he got into the league. Like, what was that? Was that 3 years ago when he started making his little debut?
3 years
about
ago.
3 years ago. That was when the Bulls first got Powell, right? I think it was a
Yeah.
game on NBC. He had like 13 blocks on the Bulls in that game or something, like a whole bunch of blocks. Ever since he made like his little resurgence into the league and proved himself, proved to everybody that he's worthy of being in the league. It's like he still has this chip on his shoulder, and it's not a good one. Like some people use that chip on their shoulder to push themselves, but he's not doing that. It's like he feels like people owe him something. Like you owe me these minutes. Well, no, we don't. Like you have to earn these minutes. Just because you get paid this money doesn't mean we owe you anything. The only thing we owe you is the money that you signed for. We don't owe you these minutes. If you're not good, you're not going to play. Tristan Thompson.
She gave him his house keys back.
Is that what happened? I thought she just let him continue to smash the Thatcherage and that was it. I think that was the main thing, right? He continued. He got to continue cheating on Chloe, and and it was back to a happy home. At least that's what I thought. Keeping up with the Kardashians is a year-round thing. So no, but you know that the pictures that came out, that was last month. Those pictures and stuff came out, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I read somewhere that those pictures in that video was like from back in October. So
what?
That's the funny part about the whole shit. That fucking video was old as hell.
Old as hell.
And all of a sudden it came out a couple of days before she's getting ready to have the fucking baby.
Yeah, it's all like for that show. It's all for the show.
Yeah,
plotted.
I mean, they never stop working. Like you said, the shit is 24/7. How can we figure out to get more viewers?
Yeah,
and that the moms don't mind pimping out her kids. She don't mind pimping her kids out.
And they don't mind being pimped because
no, because when them checks start rolling in, it's like shit. All right,
they don't mind it. Pimp us, mama. Pimp us.
She's already instilled it in their minds since they were babies. This is how we live. This is how we get money. We use the media to get our money.
At the very least, since Kim was catching Ray J's babies, but
no, hell no. They've been doing she been doing this shit since the 80s. It's on a larger scale now, but she was doing the same shit back then.
But yeah, it didn't pop off until that was the thing they needed.
Yeah, I'm just saying she's been messing around with athletes and all of that shit since then. But now she uses the media to get more money because the media is richer than athletes.
I feel like I was cut off, so I feel like I need to reiterate this again. Kourtney Kardashian could still get it. I'd ruin some lineage for her. The rest of them I'm good on. So just wanted to make sure we got that on the record.
I don't know. I don't believe we cut you off, but we probably should have. Chris, goddammit, you're supposed to be hosting this show. Where are you at?
The upper room.
All right.
Oh, well, quick, Chris, quick.
He ain't gonna get it. So since Chris is not here,
he ain't gonna get that reference.
He ain't gonna get it. He's not gonna get that.
Hey, man, for those that don't know, the running joke with Chris's young ass is that he doesn't understand any movie references whatsoever.
Rob, why you gotta put me out here like that, man? Come on.
Even the most popular one.
When
like
Jesus.
It was one that we it was one on the podcast.
All I have to do is go to the thread.
Say what?
Yeah, we've thrown a couple up out there.
What was the last one on the podcast that he didn't get?
I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was hilarious. And he threw out something. It was like some random thing he said. It was a hell of an attempt. Like,
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what that shit was. It was a hellified guess.
Honey, I shrunk the fucking kids.
Yeah. You pulled that boy clean out your ass, man. It was a hell of a guess, though. I can't knock the hustle on that one, man.
I think we even established that you haven't even seen that. Somehow you guessed that.
Nah, I saw it.
You saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kid?
Yeah, of course. Come on now.
Oh, okay.
All of them?
Yeah.
Nigga say, how about this one, Chris? I'm going to let you live after this one. He said, a lot of people don't get this one. One of my homies at the boxing gym brought this one up, but I was the first one to get it. He's like, you know what? F this. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my other gun. I'm going to shoot everybody's asses. What movie is that?
It ain't nowhere in hell he ain't going to get this. It's not a chance in hell.
Right, Chris? God damn.
Sydney, you making deals with a guy that got a gun?
I don't even know him.
No, Raymond. Cut this motherfucker. Come on, Chris.
Nah, man.
You up, Chris. Okay. You up. Your turn.
I'm giving you two names. Sidney Dean and Billy Hope.
Who the hell is Sidney Dean?
Come the fuck on.
He's trolling again.
Yeah, that's all this shit is.
Dude is trolling. All right, Chris.
I'm serious. Who is Sidney Dean?
Sidney, you said we was going to Sizzler after this.
We going Sizzler. You don't know.
We going Sizzler.
Who's Sidney Dean?
All right, I'm sick of your shit already. Go. The next topic, I believe, was the Pelican in Boogie. Got me flustered out here.
Yeah. So the Pelicans in Boogie, he tore his his Achilles. Mm-hmm. And he's 270 pounds and is a 7-footer. And he puts a lot of pressure on that leg. And the Pelicans are playing great. Drew Holiday is playing like an all-star point guard. And the consensus that I've seen from NBA Twitter is that they shouldn't bring Boogie back to pay money for something that you don't know is going to be there. Do you agree with that?
That's tough, man. That really is tough because Anthony Davis is showing you that he is just the outright monster that he has been proclaimed to be since he came into the league
for years.
I mean, I don't know. That's when those guys get paid the big bucks because I can't answer that one. I'd probably take the chance and keep him, like sign him on a 2-year deal, even though he's probably going to want big money. But that's something that I think the market would have to jeopardize what the Pelicans should do with him.
It's one of those
side topic that is real quick. You say that about giving him a 2-year deal just to see if he can do what he did before. Would you say the Bulls should do the same thing for Zach LaVine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the same thing is going to happen with them. I mean, the market is going to dictate what he garners, and then they decide that they want to give him that much money. But the Pelican situation is a little bit different, right? Because, they're playing well right now. But before he went down, they were playing well with him, too. And you think about it like, okay, so you got to kind of impress Anthony Davis at this point. You have to put an impression on him that you're actively trying to improve the team so that when his contract comes up, he wants to stay.
Yeah.
if you get rid of Boogie, like how does that look to him? But then it's like if Boogie doesn't play well when he comes back, like it's a double-edged sword. It could go badly either way. You know what I'm saying? Because they are good without Boogie, and they can use the money, that could go to Boogie to shoring up their perimeter defense, get some more shooting, get better wing players. They could do all of those things.
That's the thing. In my opinion, Boogie is one of the best big men in the game. I mean, he can do it all. He can dribble like a point guard, and he can rebound like Dwight Howard. It's unreal. I don't think I've ever seen a big man with that much touch going to the rim like that. But at the same time, as great as those two players are together, I'm not exactly sure if that calculates to winning. I mean, they got Nikola Mirotic in that trade to space the floor and give them some more shooting. Maybe that's what the path they should go down.
I agree. But you always worry with Nico, is he going to turn into a pumpkin? Hey, as Bulls fans, that motherfucking clock strike midnight and almost every goddamn game the clock would strike midnight on Nico. You know what I'm saying? And he turned back into Nico. But he cut, like I said, he cut the Jerusalem beard. He been balling out. You never know with this dude, man. That's the thing. But I'll say, maybe it's the coaching, because they're putting Nico in more positions to succeed than the Bulls ever did.
Yeah, that is true too.
He's not just a spot up shooter with this team. They have him moving a lot off the ball. Back cuts, floppies, elevator plays. They're running all kinds of stuff for him that the Bulls just never ran for him. And in turn, he's rewarding them with much better defensive play. Even with the Bulls, he wasn't a bad defensive player, but he's rewarding them with even better defensive play. Help defense, one-on-one defense, switching out on guys and doing all of the things that the Bulls wanted them to do. He's doing it with them. So you might be right, Chris. Maybe they just keep him and just shore up their bench or something like that.
Yeah, because I don't know. Just giving Boogie that much money, and what if it goes wrong? What if old Boogie comes out and then that just destroys the team chemistry? Because the first person that gets fired, if something like that happens, is Alvin Gentry.
Oh, and they're looking for a reason.
Exactly. He's a great coach. He's my coach of the year.
You crazy, nigga.
I've been saying this for the last couple months, man.
Nobody liked Alvin Gentry. Just like
I don't like him.
Like a month, like 3 months ago, man. You remember that when it wasn't
look at
working?
Nico under the basket.
Who?
Nico.
Oh yeah. He's doing that even more too. But when they weren't winning, everybody thought that he was crazy. But now that they're back to they're winning, and I mean they beat the hell out of
Portland.
Beat the hell out of them.
It was embarrassing.
And everybody is back on this jock. But so it's whatever. I don't know, Chris. I don't know what the right answer is for them. I don't think anybody knows what the right answer is.
There you go, Nico. Whack body ass fool. Ooh, Brick City.
You made a good point about Nico, about how much they're playing him more in different types of schemes and stuff. I think he's happier where he is. I mean, I'd be happier too. Get pushed.
Everybody's happy once they fucking leave Chicago, because this place is a shit show. Management there is a shit show, and they have been for over 10 years.
They're trying to be like the Bears.
Asshole. That was a direct shot.
I mean, think about it. Look at the way they did Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs.
We can't talk because the Packers could have drafted Derwin James.
They didn't do Briggs wrong. What are you talking about?
They didn't do Brian Urlacher wrong either. He could
they could have re-signed Urlacher at the end. They could have
re-signed him at the end. But
Man,
I
it was time
mean,
for his ass to go anyway.
Nah, because
no, it wasn't. He's had some
Urlacher could still play. There was contract issues, and they didn't want to give him any money.
Yeah, they didn't want to give him the money that he was asking for. Was not the money that he was worth anymore. And that doesn't seem like that's a Bears issue. That seems like that's a Brian Urlacher issue. And he decided he didn't want to play anymore, and that's that. like, okay, you don't want to pay me what I want, I'm gone, and I'm just not going to play anymore. He took his ball, he went home. It happens like that sometimes.
You know, while we're on football, the NFL draft was just a couple of days ago, and while me and Devin are diehard Packers fans, I can admit that the Bears had a really good draft, and Roquan Smith, that dude's
man,
a beast.
Buddy got
game.
Beast. Roquan got game, man. That was a good pick.
He was destroying Oklahoma.
Carry on. I won't stop you. Carry on.
We traded up. So and then we gave the Saints. That pisses me off, man. We should have got Derwin James. Or if, like we said we was going to do, we was going to trade up, get that pick to get Minka Fitzpatrick. It was stupid. Now, obviously I want Derwin because of Florida State.
I would just say they can't draft every Florida State player, Devin.
Why not? Why not?
Devin said if the Bears could draft every Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, man. And I swore up and down. I told one of my homies if the Bears would have drafted Derwin James, that'd have been the only Bears jersey I'd have ever purchased. Straight up. Because if he went to Chicago, instant monster to Midway. He'd be in the Bears Hall of Fame, guaranteed. He is that good. Now he went to San Diego.
We'll see. We can't take your word for it because,
Look, you crazy? Let me tell you something. Derwin James is an All-American. Going to be an All-Pro. Just like Jalen Ramsey.
Mighty biased, man.
Roy Williams is an All-American as well. Look how his career went.
Who? Roy Williams. Man, Roy Williams was drunk.
That is true.
Literally true. On the field, playing drunk.
Nevertheless,
came out, right?
Him, David Terrell, all them niggas. I saw David Terrell in the Best Buy once. Him and Marcus Pfizer.
Marcus Pfizer?
Yeah. I used to see all them up at Best Buy.
David Terrell,
Marcus Robinson, Bernard Berrien. Who else?
They should be working there.
What's some other bums?
Eddie. Yeah, we talk about Bulls. You see Eddie Robinson up there?
Boy, I saw Eddie Robinson at Coleman's Ribs on Chicago Avenue one night. that is the truth.
We're eating off all that good Bulls money, huh?
Ooh.
He's eating that good Bulls money.
Yeah, he's stealing money. Yeah. Fucking crook.
Hey, man, you blame the Bulls for that. I do.
You remember they hyped the Bulls up good. They hyped the Bulls up good that one year. It was him, Jamal Crawford, Tyson Chandler, and Eddie Curry. Boy, Bulls tried to sell that team. We knew they was trash.
Jamal Crawford. I mean, they had we're gonna be young. It's gonna be exciting. We're gonna run up and down the floor and throw.
Boy, at one point they had Jamal Crawford, Ron Artest, and Brad Miller.
The 49ers had a decent draft as well. But
yeah, they did.
I got one question for you, Dre. The whole Reuben Foster situation. When that headline broke, people were calling for his head on the pike, and they were trying to figure out why the 49ers didn't release him. And I was one of those people. I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, this sounds pretty messed. It's pretty messed up. I don't think they should release him. I think they should, find out the rest of the facts. And of course, Twitter went into a tailspin and this and this. I'm just like, just wait. Obviously, they know something that we don't. And then
was it Me Too Twitter or was it Hotep Twitter?
It was both. And a couple days later, she lied because she got those injuries fighting his side chick, and he never touched her.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. I thought this was like some random woman, like at a club or something. I didn't know that she fought his other woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she lied about it.
trying to ruin this.
And so the
career.
police found out that she was lying.
She said it. She came out and told the truth. She told the truth that's what it was. Stuff like that's terrible, and I think when a woman does stuff like that they should be held to some sort of a standard, because we've talked about this before. When you lie about things like that, it makes it much more difficult for people that are going through something in actuality. So,
correct. So women that are victims of domestic violence, especially victims of domestic violence with professional athletes, they look like, their legitimacy is ruined.
Yeah,
forever.
Exactly. Because somebody who couldn't take whatever decided to lie about something that was not happening to them. Like I said, there should be some standard to the punishment that happens when
lock
that occurs.
Hose up.
I mean, I wasn't going to put it in,
I'm going to say it like
exactly.
that. This is my last episode where I'm going to be reckless.
Nah, I don't believe that at all.
Seneca Athletics get our LLC soon, so I can't be,
Okay, maybe I can believe it now. Maybe I can believe it now.
I got to calm the hell down.
Now, before we get out of here, what is Draymond doing?
This Draymond shit.
Being the punchable face kid that he always
is. He Draymond, and I don't know. I love that dude though.
Why did he just pulled AD to the ground and fell on him? But
so apparently Chuck tweeted or tweeted. He said that he want to punch Draymond in the face, and I guess Draymond's mom tweeted about it. I guess Chuck don't understand what everybody else is thinking. We all want to punch that dude in the face. Except Dre.
I think he's awesome.
Draymond is my second favorite basketball player.
I'm not going to go that far, but
yes,
I do. I do really like him. I think that dude is awesome.
I want to punch that kid in the face. Right in between his eyes.
Before we get out of here, do y'all want to address this Kanye stuff?
Nope.
Nope.
That nigga's crazy.
Nope.
That nigga's crazy. Period.
Drop the album and go away.
I'm getting to the point where it's like, Jesus Christ, man! The album, I don't even care anymore. Just go away.
Me neither. I don't care about the music anymore, man.
I do. I want the nigga's music. I don't give a shit about his politics.
I don't want to ever hear anything. Look. Okay. Me and my brother was talking about this, and we came to the same conclusion. I don't want to hear his opinion on shit.
Not a damn thing.
Not movies, not music, politics, the weather, his own music. I don't want to hear his opinion about anything. If he just stopped talking, disappeared, and it was like tomorrow, like, man, Kanye album dropped. I was like, cool, I'm going to listen to that. I don't ever have to hear shit from Kanye again. That nigga is completely out of his mind. Insane. That's it.
For a nigga that grew up on the fucking south side with a broke mama, fuck out of here.
Man, I knew Kanye ass was gone when he got in that damn interview and started talking like a white guy. His white Kanye voice. Yeah, I know.
Like, bro, what the fuck you talking like that for?
You don't talk like that. Like, we've all heard Kanye talk.
He's never talked that before in my entire life.
He's never talked like that before in his life. He's talking like a white dude who works at Best Buy and like the Geek Squad or some shit. Like, he was not talking like. Like, this is not. I don't know anybody who talks like this. Not even white guys. Like, I don't even know. He's talking like a fucking alien.
I don't know if you guys listen to Joe Budden's podcast, but he made a really good point about this whole Kanye stuff. Kanye is only in the news when he's trying to push something, and mostly towards black people.
But then he's going about it the wrong way.
But this ain't gonna help him though. Like people keep saying that. Like this ain't helping him sell shit. This ain't helping them sell shit by telling black people that their history is all bullshit. It was all some shit that black people could have just. Why the fuck are we talking about this?
That's the thing. That's the thing, Rob. It's past the album sales. It's not about a rollout no more. This man really believes in it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying what the fuck is Joe Budden talking about? This ain't got shit to do with pushing shit.
Album sale, nah,
this is about him just being fucking crazy.
This is me and Chris was talking about this before we started the podcast. Kanye read the first 30 pages of a history book and just fucking stopped. And then he got on Twitter and just started spouting off anything like the shit that he read up until those 30 pages.
You did know Martin Luther King was a Republican, right?
He didn't read the rest of the story. He just stopped reading. And now it's all of this, free think and all this other shit. And there's people that are on Twitter talking about, yeah, I'm a free thinker. But to me, it feels like being a free thinker just means it's a fucking free pass to say stupid shit and be wrong.
You could be a free thinker and still be fucking ignorant.
There's a lot of them.
Disagreeing with everybody's opinions just to disagree doesn't make you a free thinker. It makes you a weirdo.
Yeah, it makes you a fucking an obnoxious asshole. That's what it makes you.
Did he say
don't ask me that bullshit?
Did Kanye say that him and Donald Trump had dragon's blood?
Yeah. That's what that nigga said. Dude. That's when I knew.
Dude.
You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of when Charlie
Sheen said that dumbass tiger's blood bullshit. Dude, what? Look, that's how you know this dude has lost his goddamn mind. When you start, you bringing in fucking Charlie Sheen, you lost your goddamn mind. So we got, he's talking about the dragon's blood. He's wearing the MAGA hat. He's telling us slavery was optional. I guess all these slaves could have just got up and been like, hey, you know what?
I fuck this shit.
We out.
What you mean?
Let me put in my 2 weeks.
This is like you
talking about I got to stay. I ain't got to stay here.
Underground railroad because it was niggas was getting their hands and arms and feet chopped off. But
like that shit was dangerous. I don't even know how I got sucked into it on Twitter, but this old contrarian ass nigga, one of my friends on not Twitter, Facebook, was talking about, hey, I ain't saying he right. He's just saying that, why didn't slaves, just everybody just revolt or whatever. Nigga, because I'm like, because they was fucking afraid, nigga. What are you talking about? It's easy for your pro-black, I'm not, fuck the police era ass to say that shit now. But these niggas
kill slaves. It's that's what people. They didn't kill them. They tortured them.
They fucking tortured their ass, beat the hell out of them in front of other slaves. Nigga, I will do this shit to your ass.
All of the other slaves looking around, you know what?
Hey man, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
we cool.
Because you know what, I probably could. Because you look at it like this too. They went and found the biggest, strongest motherfuckers to do all their work. You figure most of them motherfuckers probably could took Massa old slow ass. But I could fuck him up, but he gonna go and get a bunch of his buddies and then come and fuck my whole family up.
My whole family and all these other people that ain't have nothing to do with it. So, like I said,
exactly.
It was
look what they did with Nat Turner.
They killed him. I mean, after that, all kinds of people got killed after that damn.
There's probably there's millions of stories that we don't even know.
Just like that. And that's why I said it really feels like he read the first 30 pages of some book. And then he's like, oh man, this is really interesting.
He read a short memoir on slavery by
and a couple other pages on just American history or something. And then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go on Twitter and just I'm going to give my opinion. But, man, you cannot do that with history. You can't read one book. You have to read all the books. You have to look at all of it.
You don't need to. Or with history, some shit that's already happened, you don't need to put your opinion into it on what you think. On what you think niggas should have did 400 years ago.
Nigga, he read some shit by Ben Carson.
It was a mindset. No, fuck out of here. It was 400 years ago. Was you fucking there? You wasn't there. How the hell can you tell somebody what a mindset was? Unless you had their mindset. You had their surroundings. You weren't born here on a fucking boat.
Man, basically,
you had niggas dying on a boat. They kicking up their relatives while they're dying around them. They're laying in their own shit and piss.
Hey man, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. All Kanye is doing is telling slaves the same thing Damon Dash told all you niggas. Boss up. Boss up, slaves. Boss up. You don't want to be a slave no more? Get up and walk out.
I don't even know why you brought this shit up, Chris.
Yeah, I think that's
it's a dumb conversation. It shows the kind of power that he has. He has way too many eyes and ears on him. There's certain people that can say this shit where it would make a dent in the news for a couple hours, for a few, 3 or 4 or 5 hours maybe.
Something, it's going
but when he says it, this shit is gonna drag out for days now. It's never gonna stop now.
What's crazy is I know like some super Kanye heads, man, like some serious hype beast kids that love Kanye. And one of my homies, this nigga is a diehard Kanye fan. He messaged me right away. He was just like, I can't fuck with dude no more, man. That was my last straw. And I was like, word?
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, I can't do it, man. I'm sorry.
I'm done with Kanye. Like, not musically. I will listen to the music because I don't care about my like my entertainers. I don't care about.
That's all that, and like that's it, Dre. That's all I be saying.
I'm here for the music.
Fuck that nigga. Fuck him and his opinion.
Because there's a lot of people. I watch their movies, and a lot of these dudes that make movies are pieces of absolute shit.
They just ain't saying this shit. They ain't saying this shit publicly.
Like, if I decided to not watch, listen, read things based upon people's personal opinions, I would pretty much not be watching, reading, looking at any of it. Any of it.
But because this nigga's a fucking loudmouth and can't keep his fucking mouth shut, and he going into some of the major media markets that he can to spout this nonsense off. Like, it was like some offhand comments he said one time. He's like going into major media places to say the shit now.
TMZ. He got a 2
like everybody fucking watches
and all
TMZ.
Charlemagne did was just fluff his balls and not ask him not one hard question.
Just because Charlemagne is an idiot himself. Charlemagne is he's another person that is vaguely learned. Vaguely. So he'll come out and say some off the wall shit too. Charlemagne has said some of the dumbest shit. You could tell he's another person that's read a book and then formulated an idea without reading enough about the topic to really formulate an intelligent opinion. Same thing with Kanye. Kanye read one thing and has not read enough to formulate an intelligent opinion. Otherwise, he would not have talked about the Republican and Democratic Party like they're the same as they were 150 years ago. Anybody that's read anything from, you're 30, 35 years old, if you've read a book, any year old, you read a book and you're an adult, an 18-year-old person to adulthood, you should know that the Republican and Democratic Party is completely different from what they were 150 years ago because things over time flip.
And to add on to what you just said, Dre, people love saying that as well and not understanding that, Abe Lincoln, he made freed slaves, but he didn't think black people were human. That's the difference.
Yeah.
He just thought they should be enslaved. You think we were human?
He didn't want this whole slavery thing with Abraham. Yeah, we're not getting into this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're not, man. We're really not because I think we were going to say the same thing that we were like about Abe Lincoln and his bullshit. But this is sports.
Is a sports podcast. So yeah, Kanye's insane. He's lost his mind. The end. What you got next for us, Chris? Is it over? Can I go to sleep?
I think that summed up everything about it.
Yeah, that summed
it up. Yo, when they called me, I was in the bed knocked out. had to wake up, slap myself in the face a few times. Wake up! I was not clean the hell out.
Hey, Dre, it's gonna be 85 tomorrow.
No. Congratulations, Chicago. Congratulations. It's 80 degrees here every day, brother.
All right, I'm done with this shit.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hey man, Chris, you wanted to drive us up. Drive, nigga, drive.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm cruising a nice little 45 right now. I got a little drink in my hand,
Shit, you must be on the damn. You can't be on the damn Ryan driving on 45. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Breaking all kinds of laws and shit.
I'd be on the damn Ryan. I turn into somebody else.
This is the According Sources podcast. We appreciate y'all listening as always. Dedicated fans. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, the podcast app, everywhere streaming platforms. For Devin, for Rob, myself. We out. See y'all again next time.
Jason Whitlock, you suck.
You obese as well. Talking Fedora.